What's going on, guys, and welcome back to episode 18 of the Castle series. And today we're going to be getting a lot done. This episode's going to have a lot of planning, and I'm going to try to get most of it done all in one episode so that we don't have to go drudge on. So we basically have, 8 episodes of planning? So I'm not going to do it on camera. I'm going to do it all off camera, and I'm going to do it on my own. And then I'll come back and explain what I've done and what I plan to do. And basically, for right now, I'm going to tell you what my plan is. And then we'll see how much that changes when I actually do plan it out. Because when things change, or as things progress, things do change. But anyway, my current plan is that there is going to be some kind of large structure here on this corner. Probably a large tower of sorts. I'm not quite concrete on what I plan to do with it, but obviously since we have a little bit of flat terrain there, it makes sense to have some sort of structure there. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to build some buildings in this area. There's going to be another big hall here, and this will probably be, the bottom part will be a stables. The whole bottom part will be a stables, and then it will come up and there's going to be like this canyon in between these two bits here, and then there's going to be like a cross section over here that will connect the two. And but anyways, that's the idea. Is it's going to have a large hall here, and then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Probably just put bedrooms and stuff in it or something. And then right here, this causeway right here, this is the main road. It's gonna go straight through, and it's gonna go a little bit this way, and it's gonna have like this canyon in between this hall over here and the main castle, and it's gonna go straight over, and then there's going to be a bridge that will go across here, probably more of a diagonal bridge, and then it'll go like upish, or up kind of, I don't know. I'll probably have to redesign the terrain here a little bit. And then there's going to be like maybe a drawbridge across. I don't know. I'm gonna have to work on that and decide on what I want to do with it. But it should turn out pretty good. There is going to be another bridge here that's going to go across, and then over here is going to be another drawbridge. So basically, this entire island can be sectioned off by the drawbridges. And then this is all going to be walled in, and then it's going to be sort of like a courtyard inside. So this terrain here is going to change a lot. It's going to flatten out a lot. And there's going to be more structures, and it's going to be very open here, per se. At least that's the plan. And then over here is where the keep is going to be, where the most defensive part of the castle will be. So I can imagine maybe a tower here, a bastion, and some more halls and such. And then this can be like the main causeway in, with like walls on either side to protect it. And then maybe some like towers and stuff over here or something. I don't know. But, and then there's going to be probably rope bridges and towers all along these islands here. And then a lighthouse right here on this island. And that is the plan. And then one more thing to show you guys is this over here. I'm planning on having sort of like a larger flat area where people can practice shooting targets and practice and all that good stuff. And then over here, most likely I'm planning on having a garden of sorts, like a little royal garden or whatever. So like this will be on a lower tier, and then the garden will be up on a higher tier, and the sun will be able to beat down on it, and that's why it would be like that. But any hooies, that is the plan, and I look forward to producing this and showing you guys what it's going to turn out to be. So in the next one, I will have a lot of the planning done, and we can begin. Basically, it's just going to be planning this episode, and then we'll start building the plan out on the following episode. So I will see you guys soon, and man, I'm excited. All right, I'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, and I'm back, and there's quite a bit of updating to do, because I've pretty much done this side of the castle, and I still got to do this side over here. That'll be for the next update, but for right now, we just got this over here. And as you can see, I'm doing a little bit different planning than what I did before, but still it's kind of the same thing. And I'm gonna try to go through and tell you my thought process about why I did certain things, and give you guys a little bit of a yeah, just basically the idea of what's going on. So first of all, yes, we got a causeway here. This is the bridge that leads from the mainland across this, like, I guess the ford or fjord. I forget. I don't know. Whatever the, I guess a moat, the natural moat. I don't even know what this is called. The canyon. Across the canyon over into the castle here. And so this is the main entrance in. I'm thinking about maybe adding a crane in somewhere so that people can get up into the castle, maybe for larger cargo and such, but this is going to be the main way in here. And so when you get into here, first of all, the first line of defense is you got a drawbridge. Now the drawbridge is powered by basically 2 cranking systems up here, and there's one there, and then there's one here. And then that cranking system would pull up the drawbridge and would make it flush to about right here. So this is 10 long, this is 10 tall. Now, I really wanted to make this type of drawbridge because I honestly don't see much of this type of drawbridge in Minecraft. It's very rare, it seems. But it's a little bit different than what the actual system would be, being this chain here. Typically what would happen is this would go all the way back, and then they would weight it, and it would, go down or whatever, but it's kind of clunky for that, so I just decided to do it this way, and I think it works. I mean, the system looks like it would work, at least. I don't know, tell me what you guys think about in the comments. Then you got yourselves a murder hole here. This is where, so say if they do somehow get this drawbridge down, you got this here where people can, throw down boulders or oil or whatever to try to get the people, try to make it as hard as possible for the people crossing. All the while, you have archers all up on these bits here, all up on the fortifications, and maybe even a ballista or a mangonel up on top of this tower. That would make sense, I think, because there's definitely a good wide range of target area for the ballista to fire from that tower. That's the reason why I made it in the first place, is because I just wanted more room to put a ballista. So anyway, the gatehouse also has a portcullis right here. I might decide to add in a small swinging gate, however, it's maybe not enough room. Also here, I got a cranking system to bring it up and down, and then also another system here in order to bring up and down. This is the counterweight system to bring up and down the gate. And the only way to get into the gatehouse is from up on this level. So basically, if you storm the gate down here, there's no way without like hammering away and trying to, or maybe if you want to climb this chain, but then again, if this gate was probably taken, this portcullis would already be destroyed. They would cut this chain and then probably put a cover over that so that you couldn't get up, and it'd be a little more difficult. And then there's also a murder hole here, so in case that they do storm the castle, all the while you can have people up here in the gate throwing boulders and stuff still down. And then you also have all this place around it where they can shoot. Now the reason I did it this way is like there's this deep canyon, so there's no way for soldiers when they come in, or for the enemy for when they come in, to sort of like gang up and like make this big like they can't gang up and when they're attacking this gate here, which would be a swinging gate. So what would happen is they would be just like stuck on this bridge pretty much. And this is just going to be a one bridge with little railings on the side. And all the while they're getting shot from up here, up there, all the way up there. And basically everywhere they're being shot from. And then so now say if they get past that in some magical way, then they're in here. And I need to revise that a little bit because my intended purpose for this has changed. So anyway, you come in here, this is the guest wing, this is where the guests would stay and such as they come through this area. They obviously, the guests would need a nice place to stay. What is my, it's on 16, okay. So, and then this here is the servant wing, and also there's some stables underneath, and this is also where the Lord's carriage would be, the Lord's carriage. So I just decided that it would be pretty neat to have a place for like a large carriage kind of thing, and this might actually have to get bigger, but I'm not decided on that yet, and we'll have to see. Also, I have plans for drains. It's not really anything exciting right now. It's just kind of like a little drain system just to get the water out, and I connect them to the places where the runoff like is very apparent, so that way I can still make very good use of the terrain that I already have. And then as we go around, it's very defensible, it seems. You got a little chapel, I guess, right here. There's going to be several chapels throughout the castle. I think there's going to be another one. I think I decided I'm going to have another one up on this section here as well, up on the top. And so the idea is that there's going to be a causeway here, and this will be to go directly into the actual keep. And then there's also going to be a causeway here that goes into the keep. So there's going to be two causeways that go across this gorge there. And then also another cool thing is that this section of the castle is almost completely cut off from this section of the castle. The only thing that I need to change is this here. I'm thinking about making this taller and maybe to about this level, so that this is much taller and so that it's much more difficult to get from here to up here. And then I might even use wooden fortifications for up there. But I'm just thinking about that right now because I'm not quite sure about this mid-wall section there, but hopefully that'll change as time progresses. So anyway, that's all that I have for now, and I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited as I am. But yeah, let's go ahead and keep going. Alrighty guys, well there we go. We got ourselves another update, and I think that this castle is really shaping up, and there's definitely a lot of defensive features that I definitely think are going to make some good, make this castle really stand out. Now this has changed a lot since what I had begun, and that's kind of an important thing for you to put in, or for you to remember when you're building. If you think that something belongs there in your build, then it belongs there. That's just something that kind of like Bob Ross would say. You know, it's kind of like it's a very inspirational thing. Like, that's kind of how creations work. That's how artists, creators work. It's like, if you think it belongs there, it belongs there. No matter how much you think it's gonna ruin it, or how much someone else thinks that it ruins it, whatever the creator wants, that's what it's going to turn out to be. And I really want to get that point across to you guys. Like, there's really no finished state to your build until you decide it is finished. And I, obviously decided that it is not finished, and I really want to add in, thus the terrain and all of this planning. Texturing is really going to bring it all together, and really, because the detail, like once I add in the texture, it's going to also add in a lot of detail, and that's what's going to really change this around and really work this out. Now, one other aspect that I really want to point across to you is for your larger buildings, such as this, always try to make your walls too thick. Say if they're one thick, you can't really put in detail like this. Now, this is something I really want to show you, is putting in detail like this is very important, because adding in a little bit of depth, and see the window there? Now, I might have to move this because it's kind of in an awkward spot, seeing as it's on the this tower here. And I don't think that this is going to be staying here, but or this is going to be staying here. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea on that. And as you can see, I'm adding in other places like a window up here. The too thick is very important. That depth is absolutely. It adds a phenomenal feature to the castle. So say if the windows were just flat on the wall, it would really, it just wouldn't look as good. Now I'm also thinking about making a crane here, just like a crane that would come down. They could fill it up full of whatever. It's just going to be like a 3x3 platform, and then up here is where they're going to take the crane to, say, up here or something. I don't know. I haven't decided that yet, but I think there's going to be a crane there. But that is subject to change in the near future. But yeah, walls too thick. Also, another big thing is throughout my series, a lot of people are saying there's not much open space. Now, there still is not much open space. There will be more open space over on this section. But this is a good bit of open space here. And this is very important because people need room. The people of a castle need a lot of room to move around, and so it doesn't get all like congested and everyone's not running into each other. For example, And this part of the castle, this would be just majorly like, get out of my way, I'm coming through, move out. And then it's just people just kind of running into each other, and it just would get really congested. But seeing as people wouldn't be using this as the main source of traffic, I think now that makes sort of sense, because now you can sort of break things up. For example, that's kind of like the guest quarters, and this is kind of the servant's house. So meaning all of this would be more used by upper class people. Like maybe this will be the king's quarters there or something. I don't know. But all of this is going to be figured out eventually, so don't worry guys, I'll have it all figured out. Now I've decided then the reason why I added it on this is because I wanted big windows for the Great Hall. So if we go in here, this is where the throne room is going to be. Now where they're going to eat is in another Great Hall, is going to be over there, but this is just going to be the large chamber where they would confront the king, or the lord of this. In this case, it would be a king, because this is a large castle. But the king would be sitting here, and he would decide the fate of people, and people would ask him questions, etc. And this is the way to get in here, and this would have a big door here, so that's going to be added in eventually. And yeah, so open space in a castle, very important. Now, another thing that I want to point across to you guys is defined layers. For example, you need to have layers of defenses in order to make sure that, so if the enemy does attack, you need to make sure that things are separated, and so that the castle has, like, say if one area is taken, the other area will still stay strong, and that they can still use as their defense. So in this case, this whole section of the castle is partitioned off from this part of the castle. And the thing is that even one of the lowest points, like this is one of the lowest points here, is higher than the majority of any of the highest points on the lower portion. So if, say, okay, this is really the only place where enemies could come up to that could, so say if they did take this lower part of the castle, they could come up to that part of the gate and shoot down on this section. But then there's also this section up here that they could shoot down at them, and they could still stay relatively safe. Also this here. So all of this is separated from this. So in my eyes, this is the first layer of defense. Then you come in here, here's a kill box. This is the second layer of defense. Then you come in here, this is the third layer of defense, and this is the rest of this portion right here. So now what they would have to do is go up this causeway, and they'd have to go through here, and this is the fourth. This is going to be another kill pit in here. This is the fifth layer of defense, and then this is all going to be open through here. So yeah, there's a lot of areas of defense, and that's a very important thing to keep in mind when you're building a castle, is lots of defensive features. Depth is very important. For example, the general layered style of medieval building. For example, as you look at this, there's lots of depth. It has a lot of crazy things going on, and it definitely adds in a lot of features. Medieval is a lot of features, pretty much. That is a key part of medieval, is just all these crazy features that come together to make a castle. For example, this here. But as you know, as I start texturing and stuff, and as I add in details, there's going to be a lot more depth, and it's really going to change a lot. So just keep that in mind, and bear with me as we continue to make changes. But also another important thing is add features. Add things that are unique to your castles. Add things that are just kind of, it goes back to depth, but just add in things that will make it look better. For example, even this here, adding that in, that's a really interesting thing. That's the only place you'll find something like that. Then you have a little tower like this on the corner there. These are privies, or I forget what these are called, but this is where they would crap out of, and the crap would fall down the cliff or whatever. But yeah, there's that. Here's a little feature. This will be a little garden there. There's another one of those things. There's that big tower out here on the side. Just stuff like that. Adding in features is very important, and making sure that your castle doesn't all look the same. I think that right now everything is looking pretty good. Like, it doesn't look samey. Everything is looking different, and that's something that's very important, because think of a castle like, you know, basically everything's handmade. There's nothing that's off the assembly line, so everything is going to be built differently than something else. But, you know, unless if they're like very precise engineering and they're trying to make everything the same. Now, for this video, I'm just going to stop with doing this, and I'm going to texture this for the next video. And in one of the future videos, I'll go ahead and plan this whole section and then the chain of different defenses down these island bits here. But for right now, we're just going to end here with this and this will definitely be a great start for us to get into this castle more and make it a lot more unique and defensible and awesome. I am so excited for this, guys. This is going to be the best castle I've ever built, and I'm excited to share it with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy. So without any further ado, actually with just a little bit more further ado, don't forget, guys, that I have a Facebook and a Twitter that you guys can follow me on. I will keep you updated. I'll try to keep you updated, and I'll give you little sneak peeks of where I am. For example, when you see this video, I'm probably going to be all done texturing, and I'm going to be probably 3 or 4 episodes ahead of where I am now. But yeah, updates will be over on Facebook and Twitter if you guys want to see those. And yeah, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Till then, bye-bye.